All right, good afternoon, Nick, Adam, and Lori. I took a second to put this spreadsheet together, and by second, I mean lots and lots of frustrating hours, but it is now workable, and it's something that I want to see done. I think it'll help us all understand the annual goals and objectives that we're trying to achieve. So, Lori, I'd like you to create one of these for yourself slash department. Your people don't need to fill one out unless you find it necessary. Adam, same deal. I need one for yourself and your department. And Nick, this I would like done for you. You're like one made for you, but then one specifically that all of your frontline managers are making as well. Specifically, your service managers. However, every one of your managers that has people involved with them should be filling out something like this. Just I think it brings a little more transparency and clarity to kind of what the objectives are for the year. So let me go through and give you a quick rundown of how it works. I really tried to make it simple. If you want any changes before rolling it out, see me immediately about it. I can probably do that. And then to your heavy dismay, Nick, I tried to import it into Google Docs. It's just when I do that, all the formulas don't go over and I lose some functionality. So not that it can't be figured out, but in the short term, it's not like close enough where I was just going to muscle through today and get it taken care of. So let me just give a quick rundown of how it is. The project title, you can just put your name, whoever owns it. I'll just make a fake one for Rob Lepak, let's say. Company name, I don't even care. But, he can name it whatever he wants. 2019 goals. I don't know. So essentially the way it works is you can take advantage of these rows by making projects, or you can do individual tasks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with like a fictitious scenario, of course, of a project, and that will be we'll do get plumber on the road. So when you move to the category section, you can see the drop down. So because that will be the overarching project, I'll put that as the goal. And here you can add the progress to it. So for this example, let's say we just hired Dan Good. So I'm going to just arbitrarily say we're about 20% of the way through the project. And then in the progress bar, you can see there's just like a little tracking bar. So we really start this project maybe at the higher date, and I'll just slide back a little bit to bring Dan Good on. And I'm going to say it's going to take him about 45 days to get in his own truck. So as you can see, this is a goal. Here's the goal timeline for like the start date and the end date. You can see the 45th day is February 15th, which is a Friday. So what are some like underlying tasks to getting Dan in a truck? So what we're going to need to do is, let's just say, buy a truck. So when it comes to buying a truck, I'm going to put that under a milestone. And there's definitions for like kind of where all these are. So we can be on the same page. How far are we in that process? We didn't start at all yet. I'm going to start, say he's going to look into a truck. We'll do, let's just pick a random date, 1/25/19. And it's probably going to take him like 15 days to get a truck. So then we can see visually on this here that, he should start sourcing a truck here and he should have a truck here. So, we can get into as much like detail as we want. He can go into like order truck supplies. Oops. You know what I mean? And he can say, well, I'm personally going to do that, or I'll delegate that to Quinn, but that'll be like a personal rock of mine. Again, I didn't start yet. And I'll start that the same day I'm trying to source the truck and buy the truck. And that should probably take no more than a week. So now you can see, okay, so you can start to see like this is his personal rock and objectives. Again, I don't know how you're going to have a truck stocked. by the 31st if you don't even physically have the truck. But to move forward, and then he's going to have to say like, train Dan, or Dan passes proficiency test or something like that. And, you can put that one under, that'll be your personnel training. He kind of already started, but he has real little guidance so far. So I'll say he's 8% through the process, and he did start that process on the first of the year. And he's going to have, I'm going to give it 40 days to get that done, just so he's a little bit trained. So this is kind of how it works. I guess the idea is this: I want to be able to visually see and visually have your subordinates see, and then, all the people that have a hand in accomplishing this goal. So he should be able to sit down with Dan and say, okay, Dan, like, I have all these objectives to hit. This is your part. I need you to stay on pace. Like Quinn, I have to get the supplies ordered by this date. So like everyone understands kind of how their actions affect everyone else. So, again, this could be, get the plumbing truck on the road. You can choose to kind of bold that heading. But then maybe, overall, Rob is, going to like work on the onboarding. Just as like an example of, if I could type, just as an example of something he's going to do, that would be more of like a department rock. And again, he can break it down to have like, these are my rocks and these are my subtasks, or you can just hit it all in subtasks, now where it needs to go. But Nick, you got a pretty solid jump on that. So he's about 40% through. He's going to start that date on this conveniently typed date to enter, and he's going to have that done in 20 days. So it's just giving a visualization of the goals, objectives, the map. This should be mapped out for the year. The main exercise I want done here for all of you, and for Nick, your managers that are doing it, I want them to think that if I'm going to start, when am I starting this project, and how many days is it going to take me, and what tasks do I need to do it? I want them mentally building, and more like actually building, the roadmap to how to get things done, right? So that's kind of what I want everyone to work on. I tried to make the rocks generic enough where you can, cover up all your bases, but, also there's enough of them where anything shouldn't fall through the cracks. So please work this through. If for whatever reason you need more, you can add an infinite amount. I would say to an extent, less is more. However, it's as much detail as yourself needs and your people need to mentally plan out how their year is going to shake out. We need to start controlling our year, controlling our days, and not having them happen to us. So go through this exercise. Please make sure it's done. Please see me with questions, and give me your thoughts and feedback on it. But I really want to break down the map into, okay, here's my objectives. Here's what I have to back plan to get there. Here's the deadlines I have. And then we can all help hold each other accountable, so everyone knows that if one person is kind of off course, how I can throw everything off. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate doing that. Please see me by the end of the week with questions, and we will get it taken care of. All right. Thank you.